been members of St. Luke's on the Lake for 23 years. We came to St. Luke's in 2002 when Ned accepted assignment to be the assistant professor of naval science at the Naval ROTC unit at UT, which would be his last active duty Navy tour. Eventually, I was able to obtain a position teaching elementary school, and I was occupied with that until I retired in 2016. Our first home in Austin was in Steiner Ranch, and as longtime Episcopalians, we decided to give St. Luke's a try, since neither one of us wanted to pass this beautiful campus to search for another church. It only took one visit, and here we are, 23 years later, grayer, wiser, belonging, and as happy as we've ever been in the church family. As active duty members of this family, as in any family, we try to give what we can, when we can, how we can, and where we are needed, which to me is what stewardship asks of each of us. I've learned by experience, fueled by grace, stewardship isn't a stated, strict concept, but more the living, breathing act of loving, sacrificial giving back of all of the things God has shared with us. Growing into sacrificial giving is among the most satisfying of all the ways we have grown into belonging to our church family. Yet treasure isn't the only way to accomplish it, though it may be the first way that comes to mind. As called, I've given time to various projects here, as has Ned. In times past, I've also tried to use any, though few, God-given talents I can, following after my heart, seeking out both intriguing and satisfying ways to contribute. Ultimately, I've learned that when I listen to Jesus' call, things fall into place and good things happen. In 1977, I served as a pre-K teacher in both church and in day school at St. Michael's Episcopal Church in Lamar, Texas. Coincidentally, yet another Malcolm Riker plant. It was the season of Thanksgiving, and amidst handprint turkeys, pilgrim hats, Native American songs, we focused on giving in the holiday teaching and tradition. We asked the rector to also focus his teaching on giving as well. Believe me, if it's tough for adults to fully grasp the concept of give and share, it is absolutely excruciating for 4-year-old kids to understand. So knowing how difficult giving can be for small ones, we began with the idea of concrete giving, planning and donating cans of food and money for a turkey for a traditional Thanksgiving basket for a needy family. Kids had fun counting cans and saving donated money for a Thanksgiving fund, and left school for the holiday excited that they contributed to the happiness of other people. After school that day, teachers closed up early and had a special luncheon of our own. Every one of us also leaving school happy and satisfied, chatting about the generosity of school families, and excited that some family would soon be the recipient of a great surprise. When I arrived home with my son, we were greeted at our door with surprises of our own. As we walked up to our door at the apartment where we lived, there were 2 familiar-looking boxes. Son Andy was beyond excited for presents, and I couldn't imagine what was going on. It never dawned on my weary teacher brain that we were the needy family and were the beneficiaries of the wildly generous families of the day school. And I had questions. Why would we get these gifts? Had I really unwittingly solicited food and money from school parents for us? How would anyone know that I only had 3 eggs, a half carton of milk, 2 slices of American cheese, peanut butter, and a half loaf of white bread in the fridge? I never told anyone. And Ned was in Houston working full-time and taking a full course load, so he was off the hook too. Plus, I never felt poor nor needy, and I never suspected my colleagues or church family sauce like that either. Conversely, He immediately found cookies and nestled milk, which I knew, it nestled quick, which I knew were donated by his grandmama, who knew his tastes. He was also relieved that somebody gave back his oatmeal that I stole from him to give to the church. As soon as I got it together and calmed down a bit, I called my boss to let her know my objections and misgivings about the whole affair, and how I was certain Ned would be of the same mind. She listened kindly and quietly until I ran out of steam. Then she calmly said, "Jackie, you and Ned are working hard and are in a season where there's a lot of space for folks who love you to fill it with things that you need. Please don't value this gift as mere charity. Think of it as our stewardship of you and your family, whom we believe will pay it forward tenfold someday." I have to mention also that Mrs. Haskins, one of my dearest friends at church, wants you to know that she's the one who gave you the margaritas for two, lest you think anyone else in the parish is as corrupt as she is. Each year, as stewardship season comes to the church, I remember 1977 with fondness and joy and a lot of gratitude as well. That was the time of our lives that taught me how stewardship works and what it means to be both giver and receiver. I also hope that I will always try to give what we can, where we can, and in whichever ways we are capable. I also pray that we will always honor that gift and each thing we are given by paying them forward